guess the only other thing that's kind of like holding me back is, based on the amount of my savings, because it's so hard to save money in this state,
right.
is I'm just really afraid that even if I do get started, even if I got started tomorrow, am I making the right decision? I know we talked about a lot today, but I still have this apprehension of like, is this the right house? Is this the right contractor? Is this deal really going to actually help me out? Or like, am I just going to screw myself and I'm going to have to move into this foreclosed house and sleep under the sink for the next
unfinished house?
Yeah, exactly. And sleep under there and just have candles and stuff. So what do you think I should do? Like, what's the best way for me to just jump right in? Or?
It's really interesting because I think the challenge is a lot of it stems from the notion of just how expensive a home is. If you were saying like, how do I buy my first car? You'd be like, oh, okay, whatever.
Right.
Because the first car might be $5,000 or $10,000. But when you're talking about like, I'm buying my first house for, $150,000 or $350,000, it's just overwhelming. So we do have the program Deals Delivered. I created Deals Delivered because the number one frustration all investors have, even savvy investors have been doing it for years, is finding deals. The real estate market anywhere in this country is so darn competitive. Where do I find a deal? So initially it was working with investors that had deals, but maybe they're getting a deal every 3 months. But they're getting frustrated because I got a deal in January, but I make no money in February or March. Oh, I got another deal in April. So initially I looked at it as like an infill. So while these guys were looking for their big paydays or $50,000, $100,000 paydays, what if you could make a little $25,000 payday every month? One of my buddies, Jeb, and I created Deals Delivered, but essentially was, look, we can bring you a deal every single month, not a problem at all. And not only do we bring a deal, because especially for someone that's new like you, it's like, okay, I got the deal, but that only solves for one part. I still have a construction problem. I still don't know what the scope of work looks like. I don't know who to hire, which contractor is legit, and which one's going to take me to the cleaner. Then when the place is done, how the hell do I get rid of it? What agent do I hire to sell the place? For me, and maybe it's a little self-serving, because obviously I make money with Deals Delivered because we fund the deals. But I would say the best place for any investor, new or sophisticated, would be to do one of our deals. Because what happens is when I get the deal, I'm looking at the ARV. I want to make sure the ARV is legit because we're writing a check. We're the lender, so we got to make sure we're getting paid back. So we look at the ARV, we look at the rehab budget. Can you really rehab this place for $35,000, or can you really rehab the place for $60,000? Is that too much? Is it not enough? And what's interesting is we only offer deals in markets that we really want to invest in. Even though we can fund in all 50 states, you bring me a deal in Alaska, I'll fund it. You bring me a deal in New York, I'll fund it. Bring me a deal in Hawaii, we'll go check it out. But I look at markets like, Southern California. Our big markets are Texas and Florida. There's a whole litany of reasons why we pick those two states. Suffice to say, they're the two best states to invest in. So what happens is in the particular cities in those states, we have a complete ground team. Because if you live in California and you want to do a deal in Tampa, Florida, you can find the agent or we can provide you one. You can find the contractor or we can provide you one. You can find the title company or we can provide you one. You need an attorney? I've got one. So what happens, we have a complete turnkey process, which allows new investors to go, all right, I feel much safer. One, I didn't have to find the deal, which is hours. I didn't have to negotiate it. I didn't have to figure out how to write a contract. I didn't have to figure out which agent, I didn't have to do the physical inspection. And then when you have the thing, it's like, now I got to find a contractor. 80% of it maybe has been done for you. You still have to manage your contractor. You still have to, go through the paperwork on the loan. You still have to pick your wall colors and your flooring. Far more easy than doing everything yourself. So probably the best way, and like I said, it might be a little self-serving, but the best way for you to get started would be to dive into Deals Delivered, where I go, look, John, check it out. Here's a deal. Here are all the numbers. Does it look good to you? You can look at the numbers, you can look at the pictures, you can look at the comps, you can look at the scope of work, you can look at the budget, you can pick up the phone, you can call my ground team, my real estate agent out there. He can FaceTime you from the property, show you the neighborhood. So it's everything you would do if you knew what to do, right? So it's all done for you. 80% of it's done for you, not everything's done for you. And then through the process, you could call and say, hey, what do I do? What do you think? So we're consultative. So you could call and say, well, what color do you think I should paint the place? Should I remove this wall and open up this kitchen? Should I use this flooring or that flooring? Should I stage it? Should I not stage it? So it's that's probably the best place to start because all the difficult work's done. And then at that point, you decide and see if it makes sense for you. You get one deal under your belt. Again, they're not $100,000 paydays. You're not going to do one deal and go, woo, I'm retired.
Yeah.
But if you made 20, 30 grand, you're like, all right, cool. You know, maybe
let's do it again.
Yeah. Well, right. That's what we get a lot of repeat people that just, hey, I just made 25 grand, I made 50 grand, I made 17 grand. Let's rinse and repeat. Let's rinse and repeat.
Right.
So that's probably for you or anyone else that's new, or even someone that's savvy, that's like frustrated because I can't find a deal. I think that's probably the best place to start. Do you want to make 25 grand this month or not? That's what it boils down to, right? You can look and hope and wish, or you can just go, bring me a deal, 25 grand, bring me a deal, 25 grand, bring me a deal, 15 grand, bring me a deal, 30 grand. You could do it once a month, once every other month, 3 times a month. It doesn't. We got deals. So that's probably, the easiest place to start.
Okay. Awesome.
I think so.
Well, cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.